Hello there. My name is Jen Barkan. I'm an online sales coach with Do You Convert, and welcome to Online People Talking, or OPT, as we like to call it. This series is dedicated to enhancing the careers and the lives of the new home online sales specialist. We'll talk about real life challenges, stories, and solutions just for you, right from the trenches. That's what we do here. We get into the trenches, and I'm so excited for my special guests today, Alan Flynn and Audra Lystrup, two really spectacular online sales specialists. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey. Hey. So, I wanted to have Audra and Alan on today, selfishly, to talk about the Online Sales Academy that they recently attended. We just opened up registration for our next virtual academy that's coming up June 23rd through the 25th. And who better to tell you about the academy than two recent graduates? Not to mention the fact that they are rock stars in our industry and are killing it. So I secretly wanted to pick their brain too and have them share kind of a little bit about their work and their success. I want to have Alan and Audra talk to you about this because, like I said, they just recently attended and they were graduates. Yes, you do have to graduate. There are specific things that you have to do to get your certificate. So it's not like you just get it. So let me first introduce Alan. Alan is with Davidson Homes, regional builder that is based out of Alabama. And Audra is with Woodside Homes, which is based out of Utah. So welcome, guys. It's so good to have you. Tell us a little bit, Alan, you go first. Tell us a little bit about, a little bit about your builder. I mentioned you're in Alabama, but kind of what markets do you serve? And how long have you been in the position as online sales specialist?
Sure. So I've been with the company since July 2020. And Davidson Homes started up back in 2009. Adam started with just building 2 homes. And now, 11 years later, we're in 5 states. All throughout the Southeast. Yeah, so it's pretty amazing how much they've grown in the past few years. And our motto, our logo is "Your Community Builder." So we actually build for everyone, meaning we have communities that are specific towards, retirees. We also build homes that are geared towards families from the range of $200,000 as well as $1 million homes in Atlanta. So we kind of have something for everyone in some really high volume markets like Atlanta, Raleigh, Nashville, really hot markets right now.
That's awesome. So brand new, July 2020. So you've been in the seat almost a year. You came in during the COVID crazy, as we like to call it in this market right now. Audra, what about you? When did you tell us a little bit about Woodside, and then when did you come into the position?
Okay, great. Woodside is actually a nationwide builder that's been in business since 1977, and they spent a lot of years as a top 30 nationwide builder. And then more recently, we've been acquired, and we're now part of Secchi House, which is a global builder. They built over 2.5 million homes, and Secchi House is really cool. And so they've been making some really fun changes, and we really customer centric is our number one thing. We're all about customers, and we're making changes to make our homes more healthy and comfortable and ecologically sound. So that's kind of where we come from. If anybody spent any time checking out Japan and the way they do things, they're very ecological. So it's fun to learn from them and see some changes that they're making here in the States, and we become part of them. So, and I've been here almost a year as well. I started the last week of May last year, 2020. So not quite a year myself.
Okay, awesome. So again, COVID baby.
Yeah.
How many leads? Yeah, just jumped right in. How many leads are you currently managing a month on average, Audra?
Right now, I'm averaging about 450 to 500 leads a month. And
Yikes.
last year it was much higher. So we
Yikes.
slowed a little.
So that feels slow to you. That's slowed down. Wow.
A little bit,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So a lot. And it's just you, or do you have a partner?
It's just me right now.
Okay. Awesome. And then Alan, what about you? How many leads?
So I'm in a team of 3.
Okay.
So I average maybe about 250 to 300 in terms of active leads.
Okay.
And then, another couple hundred in coming soon communities, but
Yeah.
averaging 200 to 300 is definitely nice because like I said, there's 3 of us. So that would be 600 if there wasn't. But that's nice. It's a nice manageable target, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I was just on the Market Proof Marketing podcast with Mike and Kevin and Andrew and Julie and those folks over there. And, we were talking about in this market, 200 leads really feels more like 400 leads because of the responses that we're getting now. Like, because it used to be like, and you guys maybe haven't experienced this because you've been an online sales specialist in COVID, but pre-COVID, if you got 200 leads, a large majority of them weren't responsive, right? You'd put them on a follow-up process but now it's like everybody's responding. So it feels even more, right? How has your role, or maybe it hasn't, but has your role changed at all since first coming on last summer?
I don't think it's changed that much in terms because I came in right after the whole COVID kind of started, but I know in terms of industry wide and you just trying to get people, you were trying to convince people to come out to your community, to come out, set an appointment. Now people are begging and you have to
trying to bribe
actually qualify, the supply is definitely outweighing the demand right now.
Yeah. Right. Or the demand is outweighing the supply. Yeah. And so it's almost like you have to you're not encouraging people to come out unless they're super, super ultra qualified, right? Because you only have a certain amount. Audra, would you agree? What are you experiencing in your
I would say there
market?
have been some changes just because as we run into new things with this crazy market, the cost of materials going up and the price increases, I think we're having to adjust as we go. So I would say there have been changes in the way, just over time, we're kind of riding the wave and figuring out what changes we need to make to be appropriate for the market. But I would say I am almost trying to overqualify every buyer just before sending them out, for sure.
Yeah,
spending a lot more time with them before. And when I first started, it was everybody's just I want to set an appointment, and I would just set it.
You're okay.
And now I have to be hold on, let's talk a little bit.
I think that has really come to light in this year. I think last year it was we were just trying to deal with the demand, and we had inventory and we had home sites. So we were setting we were able to set appointments. And then this year it's okay, we've sold out of everything because we were just hot and heavy, and now we're trying to go back and be okay, hold on. We've got to do things a little differently. So
when I first started, every community, there was ample pre-construction, homes under construction, ample pre-sales. It wasn't a question of you want to set the appointment, go. You can have every floor plan to pick from, every lot to pick from. And now we have some markets where we don't have anything to even sell right now. It's all in development.
Exactly. Yeah, you're
trying to keep them retained. You're trying to keep them along. You don't want them going somewhere else. You're trying to just take them for a ride so they stay with you.
Right. Exactly. You want to keep them interested. You want to provide that good customer service because but here's the thing. Builder B, builder C, builder D, everybody's kind of in the same situation. So I think you win by that charming Alan personality, right? That comes through. That's how you win. That's how you win them over. Let's talk about Online Sales Academy, because I really want to get your perspective to share with everybody. But I have to go back and say, I did a really bad job of talking about this a few minutes ago and explaining the difference between the Online Sales Academy and the Online Sales Summit that we have. That was like a main point I wanted to make, and I totally forgot. So Online Sales Summit is a event that we have in the fall, where it's more of a combined online sales and marketing with online sales specialist, choose your own adventure, more of a high level overview of kind of latest market trends. It's a great networking opportunity. Everybody gets together in person. And, this is something that we do every year, different than Online Sales Academy, which is a small, intimate, 15 people are in this group together, and it's a deep dive into online sales specific process, how to work the phone, how to overcome objections, how to manage your day, how to do prospecting. I mean, we're hitting on every, layer of this role, how to work with your on-site teams. I mean, I could go on and on, how to set appointments, how to do the handoff, how to, there's just a ton of stuff. And so it's really, truly a deep dive. So I wanted to get your guys' perspective on, you had been in the position for a few months, right? When you attended the academy, because you guys did this in the fall of 2020. That's when you guys started, right?
Yeah.
Fall of 2020. So you had been in the seat a few months. What did you think when your manager was like, hey, I signed you up for the Online Sales Academy? Or tell me how that happened. Was it you saying, I want to attend, or was it the manager saying, Alan, you go first?
For me, my two coworkers they previously went to the in-person one in Phoenix.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of the things they learned in that conference, we kind of utilized in our systems. So it was kind of just natural that like you're new to the position, go through this like
We're going to put you through it. Okay.
Yeah.
And
it was,
what did you think? Like, were you nervous? Were you excited? Were you like, oh my gosh, what is happening?
I was excited. No, not nervous. Not as excited as I could go to Phoenix, but I was excited to do it in my office.
Yeah, when we did the one in Phoenix, it literally was like when we got home, that's when everything shut down. So then we were like, okay, we got to figure out how to do this virtually. What about you, Audra? Is this something that you saw that you wanted to attend, or did your manager?
So I actually have a really good friend who you guys coached her, Melissa, and
right.
she talked about it all the time, and I was like, oh, dang it, I need that so much. And so then I did the summit, and you guys talked about it more. And
you did the Pulse event. That's right.
Yeah, the Pulse. That's right. And so then I was basically begging to come. And so when I found out I got to come, I was so excited. I was literally jumping up and down. I sent my boss a bomb, and I was like, woo! I was so happy. And because I knew I needed it, and I had heard so many good things. So I was just stoked.
That's awesome. How would you say that it most benefited you, Alan? What were like your biggest takeaways after you completed it?
I think, and this kind of goes like any conference, like when you go and you see other people who are doing the same thing you do, and you kind of have like a round robin, like you guys know, like, hey, I'm not the only one in this boat. How like you're having the same situations, or you're having the same problems, or getting feedback on how to handle something. It really you're able to learn a lot because you're just combining forces with other people doing the same thing you're doing.
Yeah.
And even though it was virtual, you still had the chat enabled. You were still live, as opposed to watching a recording video, which isn't the same as doing something live on Zoom. So the biggest benefit, I think, was just being able to see how other people were feeling, and definitely like in the chats, you can chat with each other. and you'd be typing something and they'd be like, oh no, that is definitely the same for me. And like, you're not the only
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. So, you make a good point. Like, even though this is virtual, especially, those first 3 days when we're together, it really is interactive, wouldn't you say, Audra? Like
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it feels like we're
It felt like we
together.
really got to know each other,
Yeah.
and everybody was very relatable. And I
Yeah.
felt the same thing as Alan, especially where I'm alone all the time. There's really nobody else
Mhm.
for me to talk about, hey, how do you handle this, before I got there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the case for a lot of people, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
in this position. It can feel a little bit like a silo. Like I'm over here, especially like with COVID, everybody's working from home, and isolated in some ways, right, from
Mm-hmm.
office and the day to day. And this academy, we really try to, that's why we keep it small, because we do want to get to know Audra and your challenges so we can help you specifically. We do want to get to know Alan and what's going on with him. Um, and so we can really kind of hear and what's going on and really dive deep with you and really try to help you out. So you guys were fine with the virtual format. So everybody, that still felt intimate. Would you recommend this for a brand new person? Do you feel like it's a manageable, the way that we lay it out? Is it a manageable format? Like, even if you're managing leads, were you still able to kind of do the work and go through the process? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'll go 1,000%. I would. I think, and that was one thing nice about it being manageable. For me here in Utah, we were finishing up at like 2:00 p.m., so I was able
Right.
to just get back to work and not feel like I was drowning in what I had missed with my leads. But it just helped me so much with those best practices and how to manage all these leads all by myself. And there was so many, I can't even put everything into words, but every single day I learned something that I was like, oh, thank you. And it just helped me move forward with more confidence and know, like, hey, I have this, I can do this. And not to say that I felt like I was bad at my job before, because I didn't, but I was overwhelmed a lot. And so there was a lot of skills that I got to take home. So I think every online sales person should have this training.
Right, whether they're new or not, right?
Right, yeah.
Alan, what about you? What are your thoughts and advice for somebody new? And like, would you recommend, like, what can you share?
I would definitely recommend it, especially because there's still a lot of builders out there who don't even have an OSA team. And then if they're starting one, there's no one to train them. They don't know how to train them. Or even like in our circumstance where you had someone new come on board, you guys spent the 3 days with them training. I can't provide 3 days of consistent training. You guys kind of help with that transition. Instead of me being able to like try to do 2 jobs at once, or someone's manager trying to do their managing and trying to do a little training here and there. The academy provides that uninterrupted 3 days.
Yeah. And, we really try to take that into consideration, like you guys are saying, as far as it is 3 days, but we do it like, it's really like 3 half days, so that as an online sales specialist, we know you need to have the morning to kind of get your ducks in a row, and you need to have the afternoon to have some time to clean things up. Right. So, both Mike and I sat in the seat. We know what it's like to manage leads. So we try to take those things into consideration and schedule out the academy that way. Well, thank you guys. You had some really great insight. I hope that provides a little bit more of an understanding about what the academy is and why we think it's so special and we love it so much. Let's get personal real quick. I just want to, while I have you, I want to pick your brains and have you share some things with everybody that's listening. Give them some hearts, by the way, guys. If you like what they're saying, they're so awesome at their jobs. So Audra, what is your favorite thing about being an online sales specialist?
I kind of like being the one person that knows about all of our communities.
Yeah.
I like being a know-it-all. So I love it that I kind of get to have my hand in all the buckets. I get to work with the customers, and I get to be a help to my sales team and my marketing team. And any of them can call me if they need something, and they do. And so I love that aspect. And who doesn't like feeling valued? And so and it helps that I work with a great team. But I also love that I can work from anywhere. That's probably, if I'm being honest, my favorite thing, because I can pick up and I can go visit one of our communities and work there. I can work from home when I need to. If I wanted to go work in a cabin, I guess I could do that. And I think that's great. So
yeah, flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
Not flexible hours, because I think that's a misconception, right? It's not flexible hours, like you're on demand, but the flexibility of, hey, if I need to run to my kid's game, that's okay. I've got my phone and I can take
my
calls.
son's daycare has gone COVID closed a number of times in the past few years. And
Thank goodness you had this type of job, right? Where you could, hey, I can work from wherever. Yeah, I agree. Like, that's awesome. Alan, what would you say is currently your biggest challenge?
Right now, if you want to call it a challenge, it's just probably trying to set expectations for people and educating them. Everyone wants a move-in ready home right now by the summer before the new school system starts, and it's just not there.
Right.
Or educating them just on the building process and financials. Some of them might not understand the concept of a lot premium, or the base price is really just the base price. What you see is probably going to be more than what you're maybe anticipating, just trying to really gather the information because there is so much excitement going on, and just trying to set the expectations that you're either going to have to wait, or maybe you should reevaluate your wants or locations. Again, just because there's so much demand and little supply, it's a lot of setting expectations.
I wanted to encourage everybody that's listening and to echo what Alan said, the hard conversations that you're having to have right now, because y'all are having to have some hard conversations, a lot of conversations, a lot of talking about stuff. That is training. That is training for future hard, different conversations when you're going to really have to try to get appointments again. Because, things will change, right? And setting appointments will be a lot harder. People may be hesitant to go out. I'm just going to wait. Eventually that will happen. And you guys are getting a lot of good practice right now on how to have hard conversations, how to pivot the conversations, how to talk about all kinds of things that you probably never thought that you would have to talk about, right? Yeah. So it's good. It's good practice. Audra, how do you prevent burnout? You've mentioned several times since I've known you that, you've been overwhelmed. There's a lot you're trying to manage. 400 plus leads a month. That's a lot, right? So what's your go-to way to recharge? Like, how do you?
I have had to, and Online Sales Academy honestly helped me with this, because I remember we had a whole section about preventing burnout. And that was really important to me, because I tend to put a lot of pressure on myself to be perfect and just never miss a call. But I had to just set boundaries for myself and really pick, these are my work. I'm going to work until this time, and then I'm going to take a break. And then I make sure that I'm actually giving that time to myself and to my family. So something for me that I really needed as a mom of 3 kids was to not be distracted by my phone for a couple hours every night, so I can actually feel like I'm giving time to my family, or going for a hike, or walking my dogs, or just whatever it is. And those were not, it wasn't my company that said you can never stop working. It was me. And so I felt like Online Sales Academy really helped me to realize, this is on me. I have to set the boundaries for myself so that I don't get burned out.
Great
advice. Then also, I left Online Sales Academy feeling confident enough to ask for help. So I went to manager and said, okay, I need help. I need a partner or something. And
Yeah.
so we have been working on that. It's not happening really fast. So we are going to be adding to my team, and that will
Yeah.
help immensely too.
I love that. That's great. That's great advice. Boundaries and having the confidence to speak up. It's not that you are, because I think we tend to be like, if it's like an admission that we're not doing a good job if we say we need help, right? Like it's
Yeah.
like, that's something inside of us. But yeah, just communicating what's going on. That's great. Alan, what is a funny story that you could share about a prospect or something you've heard recently?
Let's see. So most people like try not to give you information. They don't want to give you the information what they're looking for. And then some people just give you way too much information, or
AMI.
Yeah, I want to buy a house and I want to get a dog and I want to get a wife who likes a nice bright kitchen. Like I'm selling them a family, or just
Yeah, you
can we
actually
have
you had that response,
my
right?
coworker
Was
got
like,
that. Yeah, it was very interesting. And then people, we're in Alabama, so people want to put chickens in their coops and stuff. So we're like, no, we don't. We have an HOA for that. So it's just you do get some interesting leads. I've called people back, and the wife's like, "What do you mean we're looking for a new home?" And I'm like, "All right, I guess your husband didn't tell you that." So
it makes it interesting, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
So can I have chickens? I need a wife and a house and a dog. Okay, this is a question for both of you. We'll go with Audra first. If you could go back in time to your brand new online sales self for like brand new day one, what advice would you give?
I would say slow down a little bit and just take all the time you need for each lead before you move along and start trying to help the next one. Because I had so many calls coming in that I was like frantic in the beginning, and I would try and save tasks like, oh, I'll just come back to that later. And then I would get confused, and then I would get overwhelmed. And so it's better to just give the best care to one person all the way through and then move on to the next. Even if you have to miss a call, because that's the market we're in. And it's okay. I just had to accept in this market, it is okay to miss a call and call somebody back, and just make sure that when you have them, you're giving them the best care and everything's going to be okay. So
one at a time, right? One at a time, one lead at a time.
Yep.
Good advice. Alan, what about you?
To mirror what Audrey said, my boss tells us that all the time. Like if we start getting really ramped up, she'd rather us take our time than mess up and be unprofessional with one client. And then because first impressions are big. Well, this person misspelled 10 things in this email. Who are they? I'm not gonna give them $500,000. There's the processes that we did in the virtual training, like we learned to automate a lot of systems. There are a lot of things you can kind of automate that would help, especially in this market, because people are coming and going so fast. Some of them don't even know, when you call them back, they don't even know where they were because they're talking to 10 builders. So make that initial first contact, and then, depending on the follow-up process for who that person is, automate the rest of it. And that'll kind of really knock down half your workload right now.
Yeah, that's true. Personalize where it makes sense, automate where personalize where make it count. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Make it count, personalize where it counts, automate where it makes sense, right? And that's the name of the game right now. That's great. That's great advice. Thank you guys so much. I so appreciate you. And really, I hope that those of you that are watching this really kind of understand more now kind of what the Online Sales Academy is. If you have questions, comment below. I will answer them. Audra and Alan are on. They can answer them too and chime in. But if you have questions, definitely let us know. I do have one surprise. I should have given you a teaser at the beginning. Lasso ECI is going to offer a scholarship to one lucky person. for the Academy. So if you would like, I will include the contact information if you were interested in coming to the Online Sales Academy and you would like to learn more about receiving a scholarship to the Online Sales Academy. You can definitely visit the link that I'm including here. We have a special landing page for that you can go to get the information. Definitely visit the doyouconvert.com page, go to the event page. We have all of our upcoming events listed there. The Online Sales Academy is there. It has all of the information that we just talked about as far as how the structure goes, what the learning outcomes are going to be at the end of your 2 months with us. So you'll be able to really understand that. Share this with your leadership if you would like to go. Do what Audra did and beg. Please, I'll even apply for the scholarship, but please, I need to come to this. If you are a brand new online sales specialist, this is definitely for you. We would love to have you and get to know you and work with you. So thanks so much for watching. Again, go to doyouconvert.com, check out the Online Sales Academy page. And if you have any questions, reach out to us at any time. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Online People Talking. Thanks, guys.
See ya.